We have seen many world-class midfielders in the 21st century. We have seen midfield maestros in all shapes, styles, and sizes since the turn of the millennium. From registers to turquistas to box-to-box midfielders, there's been no shortage of quality midfielders in recent times. The forwards actually are the ones who steal the show on a regular basis, but it's pretty clear that midfielders are the unsung hero of any side. The midfield is the spine of a football team, and if that spine is weak, the team is set up to fail. In today's video, we have come up with 10 best midfielders of the 21st century. So without further ado, let's take a look at 10 of the greatest midfielders. Also, before we get into the video, be sure to check out the first link in the description for a chance to join sweepstakes, where you could win an iPhone 13, a PlayStation 5, enormous cash awards, and a variety of other things when you enter for free. Alright guys, let's get on with our video. Number 10. Xavi. Xavi is one of the greatest players that Barcelona's famed academy, La Masia, has ever produced. One of the greatest passers in the history of the game. Xavi was the engine of the Barcelona and Spain teams that dominated football in the late 2000s. Xavi has won everything that is to be won in the world of football with Spain and Barcelona. Alongside the likes of Sergio Busquets, Xabi Alonso, and the incredible Andreas Iniesta, Xavi formed some of the most deadly midfield partnerships of all time. Number 9. Andrea Pirlo. Andrea Pirlo was calmness personified on the football pitch. The Italian international dictated proceedings in the heart of midfield with the assuredness of a seasoned mob hitman. He is one of the finest technicians in the history of the sport and seemed to have all the time in the world every time he got on the ball. Pirlo played most of his career as a deep-line playmaker, and his passing range, vision, and exquisite technique made him an indomitable presence in midfield. Number 8. Luka Modric. Luka Modric is one of those rare midfielders who has earned a Ballon d'Or. Even better, he did that by upsetting the Ronaldo-Messi duopoly. Modric had arrived at Real Madrid from Tottenham, and after struggling in his initial days, he was even voted as the worst signing of the season. The Croatian kept his head down, went about his ways, and silenced his critics by cementing his status as one of the greatest midfielders of his generation. Number 7. Kaká. There was a period of time in the later stages of the first decade of the 21st century when this Brazilian midfielder was virtually unstoppable. The last footballer to win the Ballon d'Or before Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi decided to make it a two-horse race. Kaká was a beast at AC Milan. Kaká has scored a bucket load of solo goals, just motoring into the final third and through defenses like hot knife through butter. Like most of his elite contemporaries, Kaká was also versatile and packed an unreal shot from range. Number 6. Frank Lampard. Perhaps the greatest goal-scoring midfielder of his time, Frank Lampard is one of the most decorated English players. He scored a whopping 211 goals for Chelsea while playing in midfield. The Englishman has won 3 Premier League titles, 1 Champions League, 1 Europa League, 5 FA Cups, and 3 League Cups. Lampard's versatility allowed him to be fielded anywhere in midfield, but he worked best as an attack-minded box-to-box midfielder who had an eye for goal like no one else. Number 5. Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso was one of those unique and versatile midfielders. He was as astute in a creative sense as he was defensively. A vital cog in the Spanish team that dominated world football in the first decade of the 21st century. Xabi Alonso had an illustrious career, playing for the likes of Liverpool, Real Madrid, and Bayern Munich. Xabi Alonso could telegraph passes from an entire district away and still find his target. He has also scored some incredible halfway line goals in his career. Xabi Alonso also played a big role in Spain's 2010 World Cup triumph and is easily one of the best midfielders of his generation. Number 4. Steven Gerrard. Stevie G could have had an even more stellar career had he found himself in a more star-studded setup. However, Gerrard chose to stay loyal to Liverpool and fought the hard fight, and is now widely regarded as one of the finest midfielders in the 21st century. Gerrard was a marauding box-to-box midfielder with an insatiable appetite for the game in its heyday, and evolved from a ball winner to a deep-line playmaker during his early years at Liverpool. One of the most distinct memories associated with the Englishman is his rallying Liverpool to the UEFA Champions League title on that fateful night in Istanbul after the Merseysiders were 3-0 down at halftime to AC Milan. For all his efforts though, Gerrard never won the Premier League. He has, however, won the UEFA Champions League once, in addition to 2 FA Cups and 3 League Cups. Number 3. Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes was the glue that held together the machine that Alex Ferguson built at Old Trafford. Manchester United's dominance faded with Fergie's retirement, but what many fail to acknowledge is that they struggled also because they could never replace their little magician at the centre of the pitch. Paul Scholes is one of the most decorated English players and has won a whopping 11 Premier League titles in addition to 2 UEFA Champions League titles, 4 FA Cups and 2 League Cups. Scholes' vision and passing range were outstanding. He was a calm and composed campaigner who has also scored some incredible goals from midfield. Some of his volleys from outside the box are a treat to watch to this day. Number 2. Zinedine Zidane. Zinedine Zidane could have topped this list had he had a greater share of his exploits not come towards the end of the 20th century. The recipient of the FIFA Player of the Year in 1998, 2000 and 2003. Zizou was perhaps the most important player of Les Blues during the time he served for them in the international circuit, guiding them to the World Cup triumph in 1998 before following it up with a triumphant campaign in the European Championship in 2000. Zizou also got on the score sheet for the French side in their epic 2006 World Cup final, but ended the night on a forgettable note, getting red-carded for headbutting Materazzi and losing the game on penalties. He packed everything: incredible vision, immaculate passing, and an unparalleled understanding of the beautiful game, in addition to his obvious athletic abilities. Number 1. Andreas Iniesta. The most decorated Spanish player in history, Andreas Iniesta is arguably the greatest midfielder of the 21st century. He scored a winning goal in Spain's 2010 World Cup triumph and was a vital cog in the side that won back-to-back European Championships. Iniesta is one of the best dribblers the game has ever seen. The former Barcelona's midfielder's close control, agility, and tactical intelligence made him as elusive a player as any we've ever seen since the turn of the millennium. Alongside Xavi and Sergio Busquets, Iniesta dominated midfield battles for Barcelona for several years. Iniesta, now 37, is currently the captain of Japanese football club Vissel Kobe. With this, the video has come to an end. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Also, let us know in the comments down below who you think is the best midfielder. Make sure to subscribe and leave a like. See you all in the next video.